You're listening to a very special episode, episode 19 of Fresh Floppies. Why did I do that?
I hated it.
I hated it too. Anyway.
Oh, hey, what's up to our sidekicks and henchmen out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently tuning in to Fresh Floppies. You already know that because Noel said it earlier.
It's
like
a special
just
episode.
Like a second
I don't know
ago.
why you're downplaying the how special this episode is, and people will soon find out just how special this.
They used to do that gag on Clone High. Clone High was a cartoon.
The show that just came back.
Came back after 20 years, yeah. But every single episode is like, and now a very special episode of Clone High. Fresh Floppies is what you're listening to. We're going to talk about books that come out today. Happy July 5th. Floppies are issues that come out every week, and we talk about them without spoilers so that you can go to the comic shop armed with knowledge.
Yes, go in and just I plow through both doors. I assume it's like a saloon doors.
Oh, yeah.
Your local burst through. Burst through the saloon doors. Look at the retailer in the eye and say, "You, good sir or lady, or envy, give me your finest, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
And we're here to kind of fill in that
blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
And honestly, the first thing that we're going to fill that blah, 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 blah in is the very special part of this. So there's a new event afoot.
Yeah.
In the DC. So important that it's paused every book.
Yeah.
In their line.
Yeah, it did.
It's the much anticipated, long in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Night Terrors starts this week. Can you tell me a little bit about the shipping schedule of Night Terrors? Night Terrors. Actually, I would watch Night Terrors if it's just like a drama about the people that build Batman suits
at night. Yeah.
Just Bruce Wayne suits.
So, is it actually in here? Like the checklist?
I think it's in the way back.
So DC Comics is putting out for the next 2 months. They have paused the majority of their books, and they are replacing those books with Night Terror tie-ins. So if you're reading Batman, Night Terror's Batman for this month and next month.
I'm trying to think of the only books that I could think of that they're still doing these months. It's the ones that are like in the past and then Black Label books. That's pretty much it.
Sure, maybe.
Because I think World's Finest is still coming out.
Oh, okay.
Because that takes place like in the past.
Yeah, recent past. Yeah.
But that's the only thing I can think.
But yeah. Batman, Black Adam, Poison Ivy, Ravager, the Joker, Green Lantern, Robin, Shazam, The Flash, Zatanna, etc. It's an event that is timed perfectly for spooky season. You know, July, as everyone knows, is you get out the pumpkins and you light them. You put the 4th of July sparkler in the pumpkins.
4 years I've been saying people don't start planning for Halloween early enough.
Yeah.
And it needs to start immediately after July 4th.
So, this is, and it's a nightmare book. We're introduced to a new villain.
Insomnia. Oh yeah, let's get into. So that's just the primer for this event that's taking over all of the bookshelves with many books, called Night Terrors. The very first issue of this kickoff event, which I'll talk about the numbering after.
First Blood.
Night Terrors First Blood #1, written by Joshua Williamson, a fan favorite Joshua Williamson.
Or at least DC favorite.
Your friendly neighborhood
Josh editor's Williamson. Favorite, Josh Williamson.
Art by Howard Porter, color by Brad Anderson, letterer Troy Petiri, and the cover by Howard Porter.
Yeah.
So, this is the 0 issue?
Yeah.
The kickoff issue? The...
Alpha?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So... I don't know when this happened. This is kind of more of an annoyance. I don't know when this happened, but things stopped being just #1.
Yeah.
I have an alpha issue,
or
a 0 issue, or a completely separate titled issue. So
you know what it is? It's like when there's a new trailer coming in a month, and they drop a trailer to let you know about the trailer, and there's a trailer.
I mean, they at least only do that 1 day in advance.
Is that how it works?
It's usually just 1 day in advance. Coming like tomorrow, full trailer.
We're gonna drop a trailer.
Yeah. But why isn't this just Night Terrors #1?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because Night Terrors itself, like the main title, starts next week.
July 11th.
Next week. With Night Terrors #1, but the first issue is actually Night Terrors First Blood #1.
Yeah, this is the first issue.
Right?
This kicks the whole thing off. I don't get it, man.
So that aside, book on its own merits. Off the bat, this is fine. This is just fine. For me, this is just fine. So the Justice League in current continuity are not actually banded. They're disbanded.
Yeah.
They're unbanded.
Yeah.
And it's a Justice League book.
Why? Yeah. The whole big thing after Dark Crisis was the Justice League saying, hey, we're not going to be the premier team of DC right now. It's going to be the Titans. Mm-hmm. First big event after that, Justice League. Or at least the Trinity.
Mm-hmm. And also, it doesn't strike me as a Batman-centered book, but I guess it is, because it's Night, as in Knight, Terrors.
I don't know.
But whatever. So the conceit is this new character, Insomnia. Cool. We don't have an origin really for him yet.
No.
But he is looking for the Nightmare Stone.
Yes.
And Dream hit it, or Dr. Destiny. Somebody hid it in
John D, right?
Yeah, Dr. Destiny.
Yeah.
Hid the Nightmare Stone forever ago in the nightmares of one of the heroes.
Yes.
So this Insomnia character is like, all right, cool, I'm going to put all you motherfuckers to sleep.
The entire world, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of you to sleep, and I'm going to jump into all of your nightmares and just kind of follow you around. So he is not giving people nightmares. They are creating their own nightmares, and he's just like a...
passenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool conceit. But overall, this issue, to me, felt very rushed. Mm-hmm. Felt very... dense in exposition that I almost didn't care too much about. Mm-hmm. Like I almost wanted this to just throw me in. Just throw me in, because everyone talking at each other to get set up, it felt, I don't know, I guess I expected a little bit more from DC, like pacing wise. DC is in a very, very good spot right now in regards to superhero comics. Yeah. They're focusing on characters, they're really like having a good time, and they're taking their time with a lot of their books, especially like their single character books. Yeah. And this almost feels like the opposite of that. It feels like a memory of an era of DC that I don't think was very strong, including the choice of art. I'm not a giant fan of Howard Porter's art in this book.
Yeah. Long-time readers will know Howard Porter from the Grant Morrison JLA series. Yeah. He drew a lot of that book, and it was a very different sort of style, even though you can definitely see the Howard Porter in here. It says art by Howard Porter, so that means he doesn't have an inker. He's inking himself. And he's chosen a very loose style here to ink his own work. And I think that it actually works for the confines of this particular story, which is a horror story. Mm-hmm. I think it works for that alone. I wouldn't put this on regular Superman or...
Oh, yeah. It feels like Porter by way of, or aping Sienkiewicz a little bit in some pieces.
A little bit.
But then when he's not, like, so there's some sequences where, you're right, it does kind of work because it's a not disjointed.
It's horrific.
There's some sequence. No, not horrific. I wasn't going to say that. There's some sequences where it works because it throws you off. It's supposed to throw you off. Yeah. But then when he brings back to just like ordinary space, like the contrast of it.
Yeah, I do wish. Yeah, I do wish, because
like
there are scenes where it's just Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman having a conversation, and I wish he had tightened up his style for those scenes and then loosened up for the more nightmarish.
Exactly, rein it in for the real world, and then show me the contrast. And this just all looks really loose.
Same, agreed.
And that's probably what threw me off.
And my big issue with this is one of the things I just don't like is stories about dreams. They just real? Like Tom King did a whole nightmare. Was that what was called? Nightmare arc?
Nightmares, yeah.
Nightmares arc. It was like, I don't know, 6 or 8 issues of just him going through different nightmares. I hated it.
That was masturbatory. So that was just an excuse to get 8 artists you always wanted to work with. Yeah. So at least I kind of respect on that level. Like, hey, I want to do one shots. Yeah. Who do I always want to work with? Amanda Connor? Yeah. What do you want to draw? Yeah. Like, that at least in the background had kind of like he swung his swang. Yeah. This is just, I don't know what's real, I guess.
I don't mind this first issue. I think I like this first issue more than you did. Mm-hmm. the art I think was actually pretty good for it, and the story was kind of interesting. The nightmarish stuff was kind of gross. I actually quite enjoyed this first issue, this First Blood. So yeah, I'm slightly more interested in the story than I thought I was going to be. I think my problem comes with how many different tie-ins there are.
We'll get to that. So that's first of all, how would you rate fresh, ultra fresh, mega fresh, fresh
enough. Fresh enough. This does not need to stop all of the books.
Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at too. Like it's I'm gonna go barely fresh because there's nothing inherently bad here, but I also find myself wondering why.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I'd rather just read a regular Nightwing book or a regular Flash book. I don't want to read his nightmare.
I thought we were mildly past the era of stopping the entire line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, because at least DC in the last 2 events, they at least there's tons of tie-ins, but they kind of also happen on the side. You don't have to. Now they're just shutting down pretty much all.
These are the books you get.
These are the books.
Yeah.
Which I wish it was stronger for that. Now, you may be listening and thinking, hey, that's over with. What else came out this week?
Well, I'll tell you.
A lot more Night Terrors books.
This is 90% Night Terrors episode of Fresh Floppies.
Welcome to episode 19, Night Terrors.
Yeah.
And I promise we will not... If we were to cover every single Night Terrors book over the next 2 months, we would not talk about anything else.
And I would hate it.
I would also hate it.
Yeah. So the next one up is Night Terrors Batman by Joshua Williamson and Gilliam March. This one was actually pretty good. This is pretty fresh.
I agree.
Pretty fresh. If there's one dude who I'm kind of interested in his nightmares, it's the Batman. And it's not only because he's in a nightmare, but he knows he's in a nightmare, and he has tried to specifically be prepared for this sort of event because he's Batman.
God. No Sleep Till Gotham.
No Sleep Till Gotham.
Protocol No Sleep Till Gotham. Like, fuck you.
But also, I loved it. It was like a smile, shake your head. Fuck you. No Sleep Till Gotham. I love that.
Batman, Bruce Wayne
is a Beastie Boys fan.
I don't think he is.
He loves them.
I really don't think he's a Beastie Boys fan.
Oh, it's so silly. But this I thought was actually also pretty fresh. What did you think?
I think this was pretty fresh. I think this should have been the first issue of Night Terrors.
But it can't be.
Yes, it can. This
just throw us in.
This literally should have been the First Blood issue, and then number 1 of Night Terrors next week or whatever is the Dr. Destiny is blah blah blah. Like, because this threw us into a weird, ordinary world. Well, no, you actually get a whole opening sequence of, over the years, Batman has been trying to train his own like mind to not let fear or toxin or anything like get to him. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it just like smash cuts to young Bruce Wayne in a dreamscape. Mm-hmm. I honestly don't need any more than that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when the Insomnia character shows up, he introduces himself. Mm-hmm. I don't need any more than that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna do a throw you in, learn along the way kind of entertaining start to something like the First Blood I think was supposed to be.
Yeah.
This I would have preferred this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I do think that this is a much stronger issue, and I dug the shit out of this. I thought this was fun because it has a dream logic that's stupid. Mm-hmm. Like, my mother's pearls are giant and they're attacking me. Yeah. Like, that is a wonderful, silly dream logic. Mm-hmm. And then there's a sequence where it gets body horror-ish, and I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah, the body horror element was pretty great.
I was like, this is really cool. And honestly, too, the way it... And so, in this, you learn this Insomnia character, who's kind of Jokerish, but whatever. This Insomnia character isn't actually making nightmares.
Right.
He is just... And I learned that in this.
Yeah.
I did not learn that in First Blood. Mm-hmm. I did that with air quotes. I don't know why it's actually called First Blood.
Yeah, it's the name of it.
Yeah, so-called First Blood. I learned that in this. And that made the stakes of this whole event actually real, because it's not somebody attacking you with your nightmares. You're doing the work for them. And I thought that was really cool. Like, tie the stakes to the weaknesses and or strengths of these characters, not just, always a puppet master. Mm-hmm. And that made the end of this issue really fucking awful, but awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that. I
The
thought that
twist at the end was kind of cool.
Really, really good reveal.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah, I like this a lot. And then there's a backup with Damien. I guess they're setting him up to be like one of the only heroes awake.
Yeah.
Which is cute. I like David LaFuente, even though it was like a record scratch departure from the art of the rest of the book.
Yeah.
Like here's Gilliam March, all detailed and creepy, and then all of a sudden, David LaFuente,
a little anime guy. Yeah.
I would say, Fresh. I like this.
Yeah, I also Fresh. Yeah, definitely. I'm into it.
So there's we divided and conquered.
Yeah.
Because there are 4 other Night Terrors
Terrors
books. So JD read 2, I read 2. What do you got for me?
I got Night Terrors Poison Ivy by G. Willow Wilson, and I didn't write it down. Let's see. Atugan Ilha Han. Atugan Ilhan. I have no idea how to say that. With Mark Morales on inks and Arif Prianto on colors. So I have not been reading the Poison Ivy maxi series. I believe it's like a 12-issue maxi series by G. Willow Wilson. It's getting rave reviews though, so I'm kind of curious to check it out when maybe it's all collected. I'm not that interested in Poison Ivy. I like her well enough when she shows up in other things, and I like her together with Harley. I like them in the cartoon and everything. Very, very cool.
It's a good cover.
Yeah, the cover is nice, very spooky, and this is pretty skippable.
Oh yeah.
You don't need this one at all. I wasn't emotionally connected to this at all. It seems like some people can share their dreams, and I'm assuming there is a woman from the main series or the maxi series called Janet from HR. I don't know who that is, but she's, we're introduced to Harley and Ivy in this dream, and then there's Batman, and he's wearing a cargo shorts, white socks and sandals, a gold necklace, and a polo shirt, but also with his cowl on. And he's flipping burgers and all this other stuff.
Because they don't know who he is.
It's basically these two characters trapped in a saccharine sort of...
Stepford Wives?
That's
what the cover looks like.
Yeah. The suburbs, basically.
Skippable from a perspective of I didn't learn anything about the event, or skippable. So, like, if you're reading Poison Ivy, this is probably just a continuation of that book.
Yeah, you can if you're enjoying that, you'll probably enjoy this.
Cool.
But I didn't care about it, and it didn't really tell me anything new about what's happening, as opposed to the next one I'm going to talk about.
It's like classic tie-in, where it's like, okay.
Yeah, that happens.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in. Oh wait, fresh enough? Barely fresh.
Barely fresh.
All right, so I read Night Terrors, Black Adam #1, written by Jeremy Hahn with art by Nick Filardi. Jeremy Hahn, I like. He's done a couple of horror books, I think like Red Mother and something else that were pretty good. Nick Filardi, no clue. But the art's pretty strong. It's solid. I wouldn't strong.
I was gonna say,
solid.
man, I'm looking at it.
The art is solid. The coloring I didn't love, but whatever. This is fine. So I have been reading the Black Adam Maxi series by Christopher Priest. This has nothing to do with it because also it just ended. But yeah, it's just Black Adaming in all of Kahndaq, and some shit goes down, and then all of a sudden his powers are weird. He's talking to a cat, and then we get a flashback to. This tells you nothing about the event. This is just a nightmare landscape for Black Adam. And then we get a flashback to what is for me a very important / funny / horrific moment in Black Adam history, which I won't spoil.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
Yeah.
From the New 52, right? Is that when that happened?
No.
No?
No. Before that, but either way, not even, like, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah,
It was kind of like a what the fuck.
Yeah.
And then it's like the third time I cursed today. I'm sorry. What the hell? And then you just get splatched with half of a It's this is a weird book. I think it's fresh enough, but it also felt arbitrary.
Yeah.
Like it's entertaining, but empty. This was like an empty calorie of a book.
Empty-taining.
Empty-taining. Yeah, and also Black Adam does, and then also you get a last page reveal that I don't understand. All of a sudden, I don't know. I feel like Black Adam doesn't have a ongoing. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure
why he's here.
Why this book is one of the books.
Yeah. So, are you done?
Yeah, go for it.
There's another one where I saw all of the different tie-ins coming, and then I saw Night Terror's Ravager, and I went, what?
Tell me who Ravager is.
Deathstroke's daughter.
There you go.
Rose?
Sure.
Yeah. Deathstroke's daughter, Rose. The reason I actually picked this up is because it has a cover. Is that Ryan Sook or the guy who's not Ryan Sook?
Spokes.
Is it Spokes? It's Spokes! It's not Ryan Sook. Gorgeous cover. And I was like, ooh, I hope it looks like that on the inside. That would be... Oh, nope, it's Dexter Soy. Shit. Dexter Soy is not my cup of tea. But, and this is the last thing I read of the Night Terrors this week. And I was just like, I'm beaten down. I don't care about this. Like, I've got other stuff. I was a broken shell of a man drinking my coffee this morning, being like, all right, fucking next, what's up? And then I was pleasantly surprised.
Oh,
this was really, really good. And don't quote me on this, but I think we're introduced to a new character that may exist past this event. I'm not 100% sure, but we're definitely introduced to a new character who has a very cool power that I won't spoil.
Now I want to read this.
Yeah, you might. So yeah, I don't know a lot about Ravager. She's been an on again, off again Titan or Teen Titan.
It's Ed Brisson.
Yeah.
I like his stuff.
I'm sorry, I should have said Ed Brisson and Dexter Soy. So yeah, this is actually pretty cool. It actually, for some reason, the way that Dexter Soy draws this nightscape feels very Stranger Thingsy, and also the villain is kind of Stranger Thingsy. So I had that sort of emotional tie-in, just like in the back of my head of like, this feels like that. This was pretty fresh.
What I remember about Dexter Soy, because I also don't love his art.
Nah.
Was his Captain Marvel run with Kelly Sue DeConnick.
That was him.
It was like the opposite of the cover of the book and the aesthetic of the cover of the book and like the conceit of the book is like a brand new day for Carol Danvers and let's go and it's all bright and all of a sudden Dexter Soy's art was like claustrophobic and muddy.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel like
it was digitally painted. That's not this. This is drawn and inked. Penciled and inked, I should say.
But yeah, that was like
digitally painted, and he just was like, I'm gonna paint my comic with mud.
Yeah, that's my baseline for Dexter Soy.
Coffee grinds.
It looked like it was just sepia toned to hell. Yeah.
Because I love Captain Marvel as a character, and there's been so many times I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go back and check that out. There's an omnibus of it, I think.
Yeah.
And every time I crack it open and start the first page, I'm like, never mind. The art is such a turnoff for me. That's not as big a problem here because this is a Night Terrors book, and if Dexter Soy is gonna draw something, it should be more like this, a darker character. So I'm fine with this here. Not Captain Marvel.
No.
With the bright outfit and everything. So yeah, what did I say? Very fresh? Very fresh.
Yeah. I'm gonna read that.
Yeah, it's good.
So speaking of a colorful character, the last Night Terror book we're gonna talk about today is Night Terrors: The Joker #1, written by Matthew Rosenberg with art by Stefano Raffaele.
Sure.
Colored by Romulo Fajardo Jr. Yeah, that's a name. That's a name I've never read before out loud, and I regret it. I regret it. I don't know how I feel about this book. So you're inside the Joker's nightmares.
Okay.
And you'd think that would be wild or crazy or non sequitur, and it's the opposite. It's boring.
Makes for great reading, I bet.
This book, it's a really the opening sequence of this book. It's literally the second page, so I kind of want to spoil it because it sets up everything else in this book.
Does it have anything to do with the cover?
No.
Oh, okay.
So Batman and Joker, and Joker and his the Batman and the Joker and his henchmen are on a roof. It's raining. They're about to square off. The Batman slips, smacks his face, unconscious, slides off the roof and dies.
Okay.
And there's an entire sequence of, and this is the part of the book I loved.
Yeah.
There's an entire sequence of like, he's not moving. Is he moving? He tripped, right? We tripped him. Like, I think it's just wet. Like, you're going back and forth about, did we kill?
Is he going to?
Yeah, like we killed.
Did we do something?
Yeah.
This is
we
funny.
killed the Joker, but we didn't actually kill. Like, so it's
no, boss. It's just the rain, I think.
the Joker's nightmare is essentially having his autonomy, or the thing that he loved or wanted taken from him.
Oh, that's great.
Which is a wonderful idea, a really, really funny, really good idea. And then the book introduces like the next bit of like, oh fuck it, maybe I'll get a job and ruin people. And then so his nightmare is essentially everything he tries to like subvert the system just reverts back. It's almost a commentary on like rich white privilege because no matter what he does, it's just like, oh, it's fine, or we didn't do that, or
failing
don't worry
upwards.
about it. Yeah, he keeps failing upwards. Like, he a data chart of the numbers, and he just draws like dead bodies and his face on it. It should be funny, but it goes on too long, and you just start to get a little bored.
Okay,
but then it's got a really good snappy kind of end. So like it's very weird. Like for me, it's fresh enough, because it's a great, really funny opening, a really, really great idea, but the joke of it just kind of overstays its welcome a little bit. I wish this was like maybe 8 pages shorter.
Right.
Like
the same way that we had like a Damien backup.
Yeah, squeeze out the middle
just
a little bit.
Just do the Joker backups.
Make it tight.
Yeah. I like this art. It's like Gilliam March meets Pugh.
Steve Pugh.
Steve Pugh.
It's a satirical book. It
looks like something Mark Russell would write.
If Mark Russell wrote it, I think it would be a little tighter.
Yeah.
Because the joke of him being in an office job and doing his thing and like getting no repercussions no matter how terrible he is really funny once, but then they do it 2 or 3 times and it's like, okay, I get it. Move on to the next bit.
Yeah.
But it was such a strong start, and
that's pretty funny.
The last page reveal is pretty strong. So like, I sound like I'm down on this book because there was nothing but potential, and I feel like it's just like almost there. Yeah. He's JD's reading it right now. It is such a good opener. It's such a good opener.
This is a great opener.
Yeah.
Oh, the slow slide.
Yeah.
Oh man. This is funny. I might actually read this.
I think you'll like it more than I did. But like also to your point, this is the last Night Terror thing I read, so it's like, all right.
Maybe you were done.
I wanted it to be snappier. Yeah. And maybe it will be the second issue. But yeah, it was interesting.
This was honestly, this was the most emotion any of these books has given me. This beginning of this book. Wonderful. All right.
So overall,
Night
Terrors. Fresh.
Barely fresh.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, the event itself, barely fresh. That being said, if you like horror books in the DC universe, maybe this will be up your alley. If you like dream sequences, if you want to know what the nightmares of your favorite characters might be, maybe this is up your alley. I would say if you're gonna get into it, my recommendation would be First Blood, Batman, Ravager.
I think you can get away with just First Blood and Batman.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, read Ravager and then let me know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
going to wrap it up with a couple quickies.
Yeah. I mean, you love Spider-Man. You want to talk about Spider-Man?
You know what? I do want to talk about Spider-Man. I'll do that. So Spider-Man number 10, Legacy number 166, maxed out the conclusion by Dan Slott, Bagley, John Dell, Andrew Hennessy, Edgar Delgado, and Joe Caramagna. So this is the wrap-up of, as I said, Maxed Out, which was the storyline wherein Peter was like, I've got a spider sense, and it only tells me about when I'm in danger. What if I did science stuff and then messed with my spider sense so that I could tell when people kind of close to me are also in danger? And then, of course, whoops, I can feel when the whole city's in danger. So this is the wrap up of that. And of course, he has to deal with Max Dillon.
Dylan.
The Electro. Not the Electro, just Electro. You don't need the. He's fine.
On a scale of 1 to Electro.
This is so fun. Yeah. I did not care about when they first said that Dan Slott was coming back and doing more Spider-Verse. I did a shrug. And I read the first issue. I did a shrug. And then when I came back for the last issue of that storyline, because it was introducing Spider-Boy, I was like, oh, I'm piqued. My interest is piqued. And my interest has been still piqued. I'm still into it. So I've been reading this new series, this new storyline. Really enjoying it. I think it's a lot of fun. I know you did not enjoy because it makes Peter seem like he should stop experimenting with his powers.
No,
because he keeps doing it.
It's not that simple. It's not that simple.
It youngs him up.
It was more. This Peter didn't match the other Peter I was reading.
In Amazing,
yeah.
Right, yeah.
And that's just a me problem. It's a consistency problem that I have. Dan Slott's got a very specific way of Petering. Mm-hmm. And Zeb Wells is doing a different Peter. Yeah. And they just, that one issue I jumped in on, they just didn't seem to gel. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, if I was more enmeshed with this book, I probably wouldn't have that much of a problem. But yeah, it was kind of like you're older than this.
Right.
Yeah. And also the way Bagley draws him, too. He just always seems a little younger, too. Mm-hmm. But I've heard nothing but great things about this book.
Yeah.
I have the first trade. I'm going to start from Jump and give it a real shot. Because I do like Dan Slott, and I do like Spider-Man, so...
Well, you let me know, because I did not care about the end of Spider-Verse.
No.
Even the denouement, did not care. Mm-hmm. But I do like Spider-Boy. I like this new character a lot. And he's getting a lot of flack because there's Ben Reilly fans out there who are like, I guess the editor or somebody had said there's no room for Ben Reilly. That's why they made him Chasm, because there's no room for another Spider-Man. But meanwhile, we've got Miles Morales, and now they're introducing Spider-Boy. I don't care. I've been a Ben Reilly fan from way back, and he comes and goes. That's kind of the character. Like, he shows up, does some stuff, disappears for a while, comes back. So, and we are also introduced to more information about Spider-Boy in this one. There's a new power in here that I did not know about, and I was like, oh, shit.
It got spoiled for me, but it's interesting.
Of course it did.
Yeah, well, first of all, books didn't come out till today.
Yeah.
But I still saw it on my Twitter feed yesterday.
Yeah.
Which was annoying.
I saw the last page of this. It wasn't a spoiler, but it was the last page of this issue. I saw it yesterday. Yeah, for no reason. That's not the spoiler.
Oh, no?
No.
I was thinking
No, that was it. That's
the spoiler?
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
So I didn't have that spoiled for me. But yeah, this is fun. I'm really enjoying it. Very fresh.
Very fresh? Yeah. I am more so than anything else interested in Spider-Boy. So I'm going to pull number 1. I want to read Spider-Boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, because he's getting his own series now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're interested in Spider-Boy, listener, you can check out Spider-Man number 7, which is his first appearance, and then 7, 8, 9, whatever. But there's also Edge of Spider-Verse number 3. And that is the first full story where we actually are introduced to his secret identity and all this other stuff. We find out more about him and what he's been up to. So, yeah, you could do... Really, you'd probably just jump in with Edge of Spider-Verse 3.
Yeah, but knowing Dan Slott, I'm sure you could read Spider-Boy number 1.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you're excited about it now.
Yeah. There's something you could read now, but if anything, just let your retailer know.
Yeah.
Because it's coming out in August or September.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Who's drawing it?
Paco Medina? No, wait. We do know.
I can Google it. It's fine.
Yeah, a good artist.
I was curious to see if it was going to be Bagley.
No.
Yeah, because he's a quick dude and he can do like 2 books a month. So
he used to be able to do two books a month.
Yeah, I don't know.
The man's over the hill. What the hill again? Anyway, I read Thor Annual number 1, written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, with art by Ibrahim Robertson.
Colin Kelly, why do I know that name? He's writing something else right now.
Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing are currently reading Circle in Time. No, they're currently writing Guardians, and they're ending their Captain America run.
Thank you.
So they are the new hot shit at Marvel right now. Very good. This is a strong book.
Ooh.
but it's a lot of book. This is like...
Annuals are generally like double-sized.
It's not that. It's just that it's like 3 to 4 issues worth of story. Wow. That's just like sped round in here.
Oh, I see.
So like the conceit is that there's this new character called Mythos, but Mythos is an acronym because it's MODOK who has stolen and scavenged pieces of the Rainbow Bridge that was shattered and kind of
look at him.
Made a new suit for himself. So he has the power of all 10 realms.
What?
Yeah. It's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
But it's so like sped up and just done really quickly because it's just an annual. So like this book is cool as hell, but it's
like a mini series right there.
It's a whole mini series worth of like plot development just like kind of crammed in. So like it's good and the art is wonderful. Abraham Robertson. I know I've seen that name before, but it does. This is like a cross between like there's some Nick Klein in
Definitely
here.
Nick Klein in there. Yeah.
It's very good. But he's Thor through Mythos and they don't spell out the acronym anywhere. So I have no idea what Mythos means.
Yeah.
He is able to, every time Thor goes to attack him, he's able to shoot him to another universe or another realm or another this or another that. Yeah. So like it's a fun book. But what's even more kind of interesting about this issue, it's a solid issue. It's fun. There's a backup that's an introduction to the new series that's starting, The Immortal Thor. Oh. And he is in his classic costume.
I see that.
Yeah.
But he has his current hammer.
Yes, which they...
I can't see what's happening. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
This is very much a back to basics, it seems.
Yeah.
Which, all right, it's fine. It just feels I'm gonna wait and see kind of boat. Because they tease a couple. I don't know what the hell that is.
Oh, I do. But go on.
They tease a couple of interesting things for the next book. I don't know. Thor is in a weird place right now. 3 years ago, they ended the Aaron run, and then Donny Cates took over and just like went real big and cosmic with it. Yeah. That petered out a little bit for various reasons, and now it seems like
because he wasn't around anymore.
Yeah.
Donny Cates left.
But the reasons are still mysterious. That's what I mean.
I see.
That story was technically finished by Torunn Grumbeck. But it seems like this character is just kind of like in the weeds right now, and it seems as though Al Ewing is just going to do his own completely separate
kind of like he did with Immortal Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So we'll see.
Yeah. Fresh enough?
Fresh.
Just
because it's got some, fresh, which is like better than fresh enough. Fresh.
But not very fresh.
It's a B plus.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because the art's great and it's fun.
Nice. All right. Are we done? Or do you want to do this last one?
Nah, we're good.
Okay. Well, thanks for hanging out. What are you excited about? Anything this week that you're excited about coming up?
Night Terrors.
Shut up. We're all out of Night Terrors. We did all of them.
Captain America 750.
Oh, I got one. I'm going to read Captain Marvel Dark Tempest, a new miniseries by Ann Nocenti, who did a really well-regarded run on Daredevil back in the 80s that was drawn by JRJR, and I kind of want to... I just got the epic for that.
Why isn't it in omnibus yet? Can you ask your retailer friends?
They just dropped an epic.
Can you ask your publisher?
Of it.
I'm looking at the list really quick. Oh, a new issue of No One comes out this week.
Oh, yeah.
New issue of Peacemaker Tries Hard, which is a delightful book. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, which is still kicking it.
I got to read the first ones.
For you, the end of I Hate This Place.
Oh, no. Is that the over?
Yeah. 10th issue is the end.
That's good, though, I guess. Go out on a high note.
Yeah. Oh, Barnstormers looked cool.
Oh, Scott Snyder's.
Yeah, with art by Tula Lotte.
Yeah.
We both flipped through that book and was like, oh. Okay. But yeah, that's about it.
All right, cool. Well, come to Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA 19127, and hang out with me and buy some comics. And also join us tonight where we on the live stream, the CultPop live stream on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, where we will be talking about
Oh, we're going to be talking about Indiana Jones tonight.
Fortune and Glory, kid.
Fortune and Glory. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
Starring digital de-aged Harrison Ford. Wait, one more side note.
Yep.
We did get an email request.
Oh, we did. That's right.
From intrepid listener. Intrepid? We're going to go
Sure,
with that.
he's
Intrepid listener. Robert Monroe Jr., who suggested we read Philadelphia. Now,
however,
there's a problem with that. One, we only do current issues on this podcast. Just stuff that comes out today. So, like, we wanted to keep with that. But both of us haven't read past, like, issue 6.
We both, we did Philadelphia Book Club.
Yeah,
so we read the first volume.
We both read the first volume, and I think they're up to like 30 something now.
Yeah, maybe this is a jumping on point.
So, yeah, sure. So, Robert, we want to honor your request, obviously,
absolutely.
But I don't know if we're gonna have time to catch up to the current issue.
Yeah.
So. I think we're just going to jump into the next issue and just like new viewer perspective. Or if you have other suggestions, let us know. But yeah, we're very excited to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just a fair warning.
I love that someone actually gave us a request. That's wonderful.
Fair warning.
That's
so like,
favorite.
and I think that, let's just create a rule from now on. The request is what it is, whether you are up to date or not. Let's just give it a go.
We're going to give it the next issue a shot.
Yep.
For sure.
All
right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we will talk at you later.
Do.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.